I'm tired. The drive, the wedding, the stress of everything is catching up to me.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you'll ever listen to.
Your final bros are here. My name is Brian Hotboy. Your name is Shane. I'm so hot bro Smith. And we are the final podcast. I am so excited for Cabin Month, Shane.
Let's go. Let's go. It's Cabin Month, baby.
That's right. Fucking Cabin Month. We're here with a romance horror. You are so hot, dude.
Yeah, we're doing Honeymoon today. Do you like romance? Do you like cabins? Do you like to get pumped up? Because that's what this movie's bringing. It's bringing the hot cabin fire. We're not in a snow cabin yet.
No.
But we're in a lake cabin. Now we're in a lake cabin.
Nice lakeside views in the country. Great way to spend your honeymoon. Cheap way to spend your honeymoon.
Yeah.
Especially if you have one of these cabins.
Exactly. I feel like we're actually doing a good job of varying our cabins. The first cabin we did was a cabin in the middle of the woods. This cabin also in the woods, but has a nice lake right next to it.
I think we will. Geographically, I think we have a pretty good set of cabins throughout these 4 weeks.
Yeah, we're doing great.
And yeah, I mean, like, obviously Evil Dead 2 is a great way to kick it off. And Honeymoon is a different, but yet I think just as sweet of a pull. If you've never seen it, highly recommend the watch because it's not your typical like horror movie.
No, it's more of a mystery.
It's definitely a mystery. Yeah, with some weird like potential sci-fi in there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's why I like this movie. Because if you don't go into it knowing anything about it, you're guessing the genre of this movie pretty much the entire time you're watching it. And it doesn't leave you empty.
No.
Like, it leaves you satisfied with what happened. Like, you understand everything that happened.
You understand. There's a little room for, like, interpretation, but you have an idea, and it's not like one of those movies where, like, 40 minutes in, you're like, fuck, it's an alien movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than that.
100%.
Yeah, it's more. It's so much more than that shit.
No, they leave you guessing. Is it Willie? Is it Will? Did he do this?
Yeah, Will is just, what a weirdo.
He is. But it makes sense because his wife is also going through changes.
He's going through some shit. Why is she here? He can't believe that she's there.
Why is she back? Why would you come here? Leave. No, seriously, leave. It's bad here. Get out.
You shouldn't be here. Maybe we should catch up an old time and have some cheese curds.
Yes. I love a good cheese curd.
So does Will.
I've been to Canada.
Oh, they have cheese curd there? What about Putin?
Poutine? They're putting the curds on there.
Putin is a Russian delight.
Yeah.
This is more
the poutine.
The Canadian delight. Poutine.
Yeah. Putin or poutine?
Oof. One is gravy. One doesn't have hair.
Yeah.
Ish.
Hummus or Hamas?
That's the question. The question.
We've been asking it for months now.
Yeah.
Someone's got to answer it. So, make hummus, not Hamas, as some would say. Okay, so we're in a cabin, but before we get in a cabin,
before we settle in,
we always have to go into a spooky pit.
Hop in. Honeymoon was released in 2014. That's 3 years after Game of Thrones came out. So Rose Leslie was
popular,
yeah. A newlywed couple honeymoons in a cabin in the woods, and this was going to be so hype. But unfortunately, Paul finds Bea out in the middle of the woods, naked, in the middle of the night, which was a spook.
It's definitely spooky.
It was ghoulish.
It was terrifying.
She was naked out there. What the fuck was going on? Film was directed by Lee Janiak, and it stars Rose Leslie as Bea, Harold Treadaway as Paul, and Ben Huber as Will.
Yes.
It's one of those movies that doesn't really have a lot
It has
of
4
members.
characters in the entire film.
Yeah, the other one is Will's wife.
Yes. I think her name was Annie, maybe.
Is it Hannah?
Hannah, maybe.
Hannah, can we get a check on the wife?
I got you.
Wife's name, please.
Right
What we got? Hit us with it.
Hannah Brown.
That's a Hannah check.
Yeah.
Her name is Annie.
Yeah.
Now, Hannah Brown. We're not talking about Hannah Brown from The Bachelorette, right?
No.
Okay. Is that a double check?
Oh, so Hannah plays Annie.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
I saw her name, so.
All right. So this is the movie. We open it up with the video recordings of the couple talking about their wedding, their proposal, all the things they love about each other.
How their first date was a mess up and he had some bad Indian food.
That's why you never go for Indian food on your first date, because you're gonna have to poop.
But that's such a city move.
It is a city move, isn't it?
You go to those weird speakeasy diners where you can get exotic food in the city, and it's going to give you the worst food poisoning.
You're gonna have some gas. So it doesn't go well. So also, they have an issue with being sick at the wrong time, because when he was going to propose, they were going to go out to the cabin. He was going to do it under the stars. It was going to be beautiful.
Beautiful campside memories.
However, she gets sick. They have to cancel. So he makes s'mores and a fort in their bed, in their bedroom. They're under the sheets, and he proposes under the sheets.
Yeah, he's an under the sheets guy in more than one way. He pops the question, seals the deal. Let's celebrate with a nice wedding and Indian food.
Exactly. And their wedding, they're not going to have your traditional wedding. They ain't having a wedding cake. Are people going to be upset? Yeah, but fuck them. It's our wedding. They're having Cinnabons.
Yeah, they're having some nice little cinnamon rolls, cinnamon buns,
Yep.
something like that. Not your average cake, but it does just for them. And they only care about them, which is a good thing.
Right. It is your wedding. It is about you. People can't be that judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who the fuck doesn't like a cinnamon roll?
It's pretty
I
incredible.
actually think I'd rather eat a cinnamon roll than a cake.
Yeah, theoretically, people will go... See, a lot of people would think of like, oh, they need this because it's what everybody else does. But how about just like, what's better?
Exactly.
You know,
and a cinnamon roll is better than cake, unless we're talking ice cream cake.
Yeah, ice cream cake hits pretty good.
Yeah. I've never been to a wedding, though, where I've had an ice cream cake. Probably because it would melt. But I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, so that's all cute and good. They're going to get to the cabin.
Yes.
And when they get to the cabin, he's going to get the grand tour.
Yes. That grand tour this is the TV with the VCR from the 1980s. These are my ducks. I used to hide things in my ducks.
She was a big hider of the ducks. Now, I have a question.
Yes.
Do they say ducks or do they say mallard?
Ooh, she might say duck, but she is big country, so I wouldn't be shocked if she said mallard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said ducks.
She says ducks. Okay.
Can you give
ducks
me
confirmed?
Can you give me a check on what's a mallard? Or is it just a different type of bird?
I think it's just a different kind of duck.
It is a type of duck?
I think a mallard might be a type of duck. Snoopy, fact check that for us.
Snoopy.
He's just down there.
So it's interesting because while Matt looks that up, at the 7-minute mark, I didn't realize the humming actually starts right in the beginning.
Oh yeah, the first night they okay. So the husband, he wants to fuck every room they're in, pretty much. So at night they're finally like getting it on, and she's like, "This is my super special honeymoon nightgown."
Do you see like her like this is the foreshadowing that I actually didn't even notice because I haven't seen this movie in so long. I used to hide things in the ducks.
Yep.
Hiding's a big theme in this. And then she goes, "Why are you hiding down there in my very super special honeymoon nightgown?"
Yeah, which also plays a big role in this movie.
All about the goo hash nightgown.
Oh, we're gonna talk about goo hash.
Quite the goo hash. I don't know if they... So, like, when I watched this with Caitlin, she was like, oh, my God, it's semen. And I'm like, I actually didn't get the semen from that.
Me either.
I got goo hash.
Yeah, my instant thought was that was goo.
She thought it was make.
No.
She thought she was bent over the tree and made by Will. Like, that was like the
Yeah, it's crazy. I never once thought that. I thought something gooed in her, but not in the semen variety of goo.
I mean, it makes sense that, like, maybe there was a meetup with her and Will.
Yeah,
like, that could be a
right.
thing. But, like, it looked predominant goo. Like, more goo than semen. 'Cause
Right.
the semen would have dried up, no?
Or it would come out whiter.
Not clear?
It was clear. It looked like gunk, goo. It just I don't know.
So mallard check. It says, according to Wikipedia, it says the mallard or wild duck is a dabbling duck that breeds throughout the temperate and subtropical Americas, Eurasia, and North Africa. So I think it's just a breed of a duck.
It's just a breed of duck. Okay, so we're going duck.
Honestly, that was fucking lit.
It was. I love duck knowledge.
You love ducks.
Ducks are awesome.
I like the Anaheim Ducks.
They're a great team. So even the first night, we're going to start seeing flashes on her, right? The white flashes while she's
Humming,
sleeping.
Flashes from the outside. It's odd behavior.
Yeah.
Odd shit going on in
Yes.
the woods.
Now, this conversation they have in the morning is actually very important
Yeah.
because he says something about her womb, and she's very taken aback that he called it a womb and not a pussy hole or something.
They called it a womb.
Yeah. And she's like, what do you mean a womb?
He's like, you want to have a baby?
Baby?
You want to put a baby in me?
And she's like, I only take babies from aliens. Like,
I need I need the long dick of an alien.
yeah, that's all. I need this needs goo.
I need
not semen.
I need
goo.
I need the long rod parasite in the
Oh.
puss.
This movie, like, it's not the most graphic, but it's got some scenes I was like, ew.
Wild.
Yeah. So the next day, they're talking about it. They're like, we have the rest of our lives to argue over breakfast, as married couples do. Let's not do it on the honeymoon.
She's like, look, I may have burnt the toast, but I mean, like, I gave it my best shot. I put my best foot forward.
Yeah.
I'm not as good as your pancakes. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So they just talk about that for a little bit. And I believe from this moment, they decide to go into the town.
They're going to take a trip. I mean, the movie's basically them banging or going into the town or going out into the water.
Yeah.
And going into the ice cold water.
But I think they go into the town
and then
first.
drowning into the ice cold water.
Ooh, spoiler.
Getting dropped into the water.
Spoiler.
Okay, let's take a trip.
Yes, so they're going to go to the town shop. She's going to meet up with an old acquaintance, Will. And do you get that sexual tension vibe from them?
It's a weird vibe, and apparently like there was a relationship when they were 13 years old that now it looks like they're, more than double their age.
Yes.
But it's like something he has not been able to get over, it looks like.
Yeah.
Because he's very set on her. And he makes some very awkward comments in front of Paul
Yes.
to her. Like, oh, there's that smile, which is very creepy.
Yeah, it's just like, he does make it very awkward here. And like they do set it up that he's going to be a villain in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially when it looks like his wife is an abuse victim when she shows up.
100%. When Annie comes into the room, it looks like she's been beaten up.
Yes. And it looks like he keeps her chained in the basement when people are not around.
And she does not want company. It's very clear.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like, when he sees Paul, he's already like very, very like offset. Doesn't want to deal with Paul. It makes it very clear.
Yeah, he just wants to deal with the wife. Yeah, it's bad. It's very uncomfortable. Annie just like, she's in the background just staring at the floor. She doesn't make eye contact. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's like, she's not feeling well. She can't come out. And yeah, apparently he plays hockey. He's dressed like he's going to hit the back nine.
Yeah, like she's like, she looks like she's about to say, oh, I just fell down some stairs. Like, it's that kind of situation. So, of course, they go back and they start banging out that night because it is their honeymoon. You bang out every night on your honeymoon. That's how that goes, right?
Before bed, you're going to have a couple of questions. You have to ask a couple of questions.
The hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, like what was the deal there? What was the deal with Will?
Was Will's penis bigger than mine?
Was it a huge dumpster dick?
Yeah, I need to know these things.
What's going on with his wife? That was a little weird, wasn't it?
It's strange. It's strange. I didn't like any of that. So this is the night, though, where she disappears.
It happens very quick. She disappears. He gets up in the middle of the night. She's not around. Where'd she go?
He goes, he searches through the forest. He finds her. She's not talking. She's motionless. And he brings her back. And then she kind of like snaps out of it. She's like in a trance, right? For most of this.
I mean, it's pretty odd. She's deep in the forest, deep down a trail, and is legitimately completely naked, and supposedly it's very cold out there.
Yes.
So like it's almost like she wasn't like of her own will to go out there.
Yes.
Of her own will to go out there.
Because she's also naked in there.
She's very naked, and I promise you, won't have any bug bites.
No. She has no bug bites, no goo. So he finds the goo like there, right? Because he does that thing with his fingers when you're like, this is kind of gooey.
He goes back for an investigation like later on in the movie and finds her nightgown there.
Yes.
Because right after that, and he brings her back, he's like, where's your fucking nightgown? And she's like, relax, dude. It was sleepwalking. She's like, she is very weird about it.
Yeah.
She's like, come here, hold me, I'm cold. Let's go back to bed. And he's just like, yo, this is not right.
It's like, no, we need to have a talk. Most people don't end up naked in the woods. That's kind of strange. It's a little sus.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So from this moment, she's going to be very, very different. B is going to be very different throughout this movie.
Now, at this point, what was your theory? What was your prevailing theory?
I always thought Will was a red herring, right? I never thought Will was the culprit here.
Sure.
But I didn't know if something happened to her that she was like abducted, or if she was setting up Paul this entire movie at first.
Yeah.
Like, I thought maybe she needed to marry him and gain his trust, and then she was going to do something to him in the cabin, and this was like maybe a ritual thing. But it becomes pretty, not obvious, but you kind of understand, I would say, within the next 15, 20 minutes, this is aliens.
Yeah.
Now, like, what was your thought while watching this?
So the second I saw the humming, it's kind of like makes you think, okay, well, it's aliens.
Yeah.
I did think that when she went out there, I thought that it makes sense that like she's going out to the middle of the woods and probably just going up into the
ship,
thing, and then getting probed and then going back down. I didn't know like the depth of what that was, but that's what I assumed, because why else would she be so far out? It also like seems like she's being like called out there.
Well, yeah, I think that the flashing white light is almost like it puts them in a trance to bring them out. That's how I took it as well.
It's also interesting that like she starts exhibiting odd behavior, which is very reminiscent to Will's wife's odd behavior. So I did think that Will, although maybe not directly took her, was somewhat involved.
Right. Okay.
I just didn't know what degree that looked like.
Right. So, like I said, now things are going to get strange right away in the next morning, where like B's forgetting things she should know how to do. Like she forgets how to cook basic things, right?
She burns shit, yeah.
Yeah, she's just burning stuff. She doesn't remember. She also says things like really weird.
She says things differently, yeah.
Like she'll use words in the wrong tense or call things like the wrong thing.
She's supposed to be making coffee when it's just literally like a little bit of water in there. It's not even made.
Yeah. So she's very strange right off the bat. And Paul starts noticing this. And Paul is very inquisitive. He asks questions. She's very sketchy and doesn't want to answer them. And he says, we have no secrets. Like, you can tell me.
Yeah.
But
I think, yeah, what they do, they do go out in the middle of the water earlier in this movie too. And they mention that like the water is like extremely cold, and she even mentions it because like she doesn't want to go in how cold it is. And then like when they go back in the water and she goes in and it's fucking freezing, and she doesn't like even
flinch.
It doesn't even become like a thought.
Yeah. And
he's like, why would you go in the water? Like, you mentioned how cold it was. It's just like odd.
Yeah. Also, would you catch that frog like Paul did? Because that
barehanded, no.
Yeah, because I feel like, isn't that how you get like warts?
You ever lick toads?
No, I never licked toad.
Matt, lick toads. Look it up. Apparently, it's a phenomenon. People should be licking toads.
Why?
I don't know. Get you high.
Ew. This sounds gross.
Licking toads for those toxins. What does licking toads do for you? Yeah, she just like with no.
She also jumped in fully clothed.
Fully clothed. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it says frogs that get you high. The danger of toad licking. It's actually a thing.
It's crazy.
Not all amphibians are hallucinogenic frogs. That's one of the headlines. What am I looking for within this?
Where can you get the high toads? And then there's a danger to it. People could die.
That's crazy.
Because there's like toxins.
So why are people just licking? Get high the normal way. Don't go out licking toad. People are fucking weird.
People be chasing toads. Yeah.
Yeah, people just be chasing toad. I'm not chasing toad.
What are you chasing?
Probably a good Pepsi.
My God, you mean Coke, of course.
No, like a good Pepsi.
It's literally crazy talk, James.
Pepsi is the best soda ever made.
That's literally the biggest cap of all time. You're going to say that on this show?
I will go on record as saying the only soda people should drink is Pepsi.
That's literally crazy talk.
Sprite, terrible. Coke,
what?
Mid.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nonsense. It's
It's
literally the talk of someone that's licked a toad.
It's my hot take for the episode. I'm a Pepsi guy.
It's your toad take.
There's no like doesn't say where to get it.
So if we went to the swamps of Louisiana, we can't just we could start licking Toad, or are we licking Victor Crowley?
It's got to be some kind of a toad, right? It can't just be every toad. I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's specific ones, but I'm just looking. I'm trying to see which one.
Okay. Well, while you look that up, me and Brian can talk about how they get back to the cabin. He starts kissing her, but then she stops. She always stops him from making physical contact that goes like too far. Because once he starts to reach down, that's when he first discovers the bug bites, right?
Yeah, so he does try to go for the down because they're very horny on this honeymoon.
It's a honeymoon. People are going to be horny on their honeymoon.
Yeah, and he's going for because that's a big move of Paul.
Yeah,
he likes to kiss, and then he goes down for the finger pop.
Yeah, he's a big finger popper.
Thing is, he's gonna go for the finger pop. He's gonna see the 3 bug bites.
Yeah,
he's gonna see mirroring 3 bug bites. I think on the other side.
Yep,
she got bug bites on her legs,
and she will not let him look at them.
She's very uncomfortable about it, very self-conscious.
So he's gonna leave. He's gonna go back to the spot where he found her.
Not the spot of the bug bites, the spot of where she was when she was discovered in the middle of the night. And he's gonna find the famous nightgown.
And what's on that nightgown? Goo. And that's the thing. I don't think. See, that's why I didn't think it was semen, because that's a day later. That's gonna be dry.
Yeah, it's gonna be
semen's gonna be dry.
They crust it over, but the goo hash is never dries.
And that's where I'm like, this is alien goo. This is an alien goo. This ain't Will goo. Unless Will has very potent semen that doesn't dry.
You got that slime seam?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. And Will is like, Paul is really questioning this now. So he's going to go back to the cabin. He's going to see B rehearsing lines in the mirror.
It's a little creepy. He also notices there's another footprint there.
He does. You're right. That's actually very important.
Yeah.
He does see another footprint there. So when Paul gets back, he sees B practicing. My tummy hurts. No, I have a headache. I took some Advil.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah.
She's like rehearsing the line she's going to say to avoid having any sexual contact with him.
Yes.
Yeah, and then she leaves the room. And then he's gonna, he's in the next room. They're gonna have a conversation.
Yes. He questions her basically like, what's going on? Like, they make some s'mores. Everything seems normal. But then he's gonna, while they're playing Yahtzee, he's going to ask her, it's like, hey, how about you put on your sexy
nightgown.
Honeymoon nightgown? And she's like, no, I don't, I'm not gonna do that. She's like, oh, it's in the wash. No. And then he's like, all right, fine. Then they start making out. And then she says the lines that he saw her practicing in the mirror.
But he also she's the one that kind of came on. I think he was asking her so many questions that prompted her to be like, okay, well, let me shut him up by kissing him.
But then he went too far.
Well, he's got his 1-2 punch. He's got the tongue to finger pop combo.
The tongue finger pop combo is Paul's go-to.
And she's like, you're gonna kill me. Like, my head hurts. I have a headache. I'm gonna take Advil, Tylenol.
Advil, Tylenol.
And he's like, do you not want to have sex with me anymore?
Yeah. And he's becoming he's feeling there's something different here. And she's like saying, I want to make you happy. I'm sorry. I want to make you happy. But he's not buying it.
No, he'd rather have a beer.
I don't blame him. This is getting weird. This is getting sus. So she's going to play Yahtzee by herself on the floor.
I think he's a little concerned because she would always be able to tell him things, and now that she can't.
Yeah. Well, right, he just knows this isn't the person he married. Like, there's something different going on. She also rolled a full house, just needs to be said.
Yeah, and he also called her out on the Yahtzee, because remember, she's like, oh, 2 of a kind. He's like, it's just a pair.
Yeah.
Just a pair.
Because no one calls it that.
Yeah, no one calls it that. You're crazy.
Crazy psycho. You crazy psycho. So they go back to sleep. She disappears in the middle of the night again.
He tries to get her in the hallway. She's like, I just went to the bathroom.
Yeah. It's
kind of calling him out on
it's
it.
All
it's his fault.
Very suspect. So I think we're going to get to the part where he's going to go try to ask Will some questions about the night.
Is this where he goes over there and breaks in his house?
Yes. I think that's the next part we should probably talk about.
Okay.
Is when he goes to because he does notice B writing something right in her journal, but she doesn't. She hides it from him.
Yeah, she's writing the my name is B, my husband is Paul.
But he doesn't know that yet because she hid it.
She hid it, yeah. But as the viewer, you see what it is.
Yes.
And it's kind of like what she will be reciting later, but She hides it from
Yes.
him. You might see it like a little
bit
of it,
because he goes to Will to find Will, but he doesn't find Will. Will's missing. He finds Annie.
He sees her like right by the dock.
And
right away.
she's like bringing some rope onto a boat, which is, it's very suspicious.
Very suspicious. And she basically tells him like, leave us alone or we will hurt you.
Yes. And he goes inside, and that's when he finds the bloody hat of Will.
Yeah.
And he also finds a note, which is Annie writing, "My name is Annie. My husband is
Will."
Which is the same thing Paul's wife had been writing.
Yeah, he like briefly observed it.
He also sees the bug bites.
He says she has the bug bite, so he knows the same shit's going on with her. She's acting very weird, maybe like even in like a more escalated stage than B.
Yes. So I think at this point, Paul is actually fearing for his own life. Like, I think at this moment, Paul knows that Annie did something to Will and that he's worried that B might do the same thing to him. Right? Is that that's the route I thought he was?
So does it make you think like at this point in the game, was Will just like really like uncertain of what was happening to Annie and was just like trying to shelter her? He didn't figure out anything.
That's the thing. I think
in the same boat. They leave that kind of up to interpretation.
I interpreted it as Will actually wasn't abusing her or like a bad husband. Will was just scared in that moment, and that's why he didn't know what was going on with Annie, which is why he kind of wanted them to stay away and keep Annie away, because he probably just thought Annie was sick.
Yeah.
So Paul, though, he's piecing all these things together. He wants the car keys.
He's got to go to Watchdog.
You got to go to watchdog.com. Oh, because he watches the video.
He watches the camera of her.
And he sees Annie do the same thing that B did, where she walks out into the woods in the middle of the night.
He sees the flashing light in the video that kind of picks up on various different days. Her just like walking into the woods, being called out by the light. It's very odd.
Strange. That shouldn't be happening to two people at the same exact time. It's very weird.
Yeah, like almost back to back. It is kind of odd. A little bit of a call out.
It is. And like I said, he finds the note with her writing the same thing. So he's got to go back now and confront B on all this. He's like, something is going on. I need explanations. Why are you writing the same thing that Annie is writing? Why are you writing down things? These aren't things you memorize. These are things you know.
Yeah. Like if you're my wife, you know these basic concepts of our relationship.
Yes.
You know who we are. You know where we live. And this dialogue goes on for such a long time that it's almost like it's taken her so much time away from reciting it that she actually struggles to
remember
come up with it.
Well, that was like, then that's the thing I was referencing last time, where last episode actually, where he's like, where was our first date? And the answer is Indian food, but she says we went to get Italian
food. Yeah.
And that's when he knows. He's like, you're not my wife. Like, who are you? Then she runs away, hides in the bathroom. He goes in there. He finds her just stabbing her vagina with a knife.
Not great.
Not a good look for anyone.
No, a lot of blood down there.
Yeah.
A lot of stabbing. What's going on?
And he grabs her. He ties her to the bed. And he starts interrogating her. And he's like, she's like, I need you to get this thing out of me. And this
Gerald's
scene
game.
is fucking disgusting. Because he just reaches into her goo hash. And he has like webbing now on his fingers. It's not the goo. It's like a web.
It's like even more than the goo. It's literally like a fucking cocoon in there.
Right.
Web shit.
It is. And he's just pulling out this long, it's almost like a umbilical cord, but it's not. It's an alien.
It's alive.
Yeah,
dude. It's like once he pulls the whole thing out, it's like 2 feet. Dude.
Yeah,
it's long as fuck.
It's disgusting.
It does look like an umbilical cord, but the edges like move when he takes it out.
And they also have like almost pincers that like hook into the inside of her.
It's like a live parasite.
Yes.
And this is why she never wanted him going downtown on her.
Yes.
Because she's not in the city anymore.
Yeah. So she's like begging him, like, you need to stop. They're going to be angry. Like, you can't do this. They don't need you. They're going to get rid of you. And he's begging her, just give me the keys. She hid the keys. That's something we should have mentioned. She hid the car keys, so he has no way of getting out.
Trying to break through the ducks, the mallards.
Yes.
Can't find it.
Can't find it. So he's begging her. He's like, please, where are the keys? And then he's like, how did I propose? And she's like, it was beautiful. It was under the stars. And he's like,
we went camping. It was great.
He's like, no. He's like, we were at home under the sheets. And he's like, shit. Like
Yeah. He's like,
okay.
I can taste you. You taste like B, but you're not B.
Okay, he gets really weird in that
Yeah,
scene.
I know.
He gets really weird in that scene because she's tied up, clearly an alien, and he just starts fucking licking her.
He's seen the cocoons.
Yeah.
He's seen the vagina webs.
Yeah.
And now he's just going to suck her.
He's just licking her leg. He's like, you taste like B, but you're not B. You're not. He's lost his mind.
Yeah, I was like, he's seen some shit.
Yeah. So he's going to leave the room. He's going to be searching for the keys. She is now untied.
I don't know how she got untied, but she's untied.
Aliens.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe
Aliens.
maybe the host can like.
Cut her.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
It's possible. So she's going to just bash him over the head with the video camera, right?
Yeah. So she keeps going on that I need to hide you,
Yeah.
which is very interesting language because it's like the language that Annie was using. She's like, a will is hiding.
Yeah.
She's like, I need to hide you, and they can't see you, and it makes me think like, is she trying to protect him? Was she trying to just keep him alive into a certain moment? Like, what does she do? Is he can't leave because like if he leaves, they'll find him and grab him too?
So I think in her alien brain, she thought she was doing him a good thing by hiding him where she did.
I agree
I don't
with
think
you.
she understood that was going to kill him.
Yeah, I think there's like a part, like a dual part where like she's part alien, but like also herself.
Yes,
Like,
agreed.
She wanted to try to protect him.
Yeah.
Because if he was like to leave, the aliens would get him and do something far worse. Or something.
Yes.
To assume.
Which is why she felt if she hid him, the aliens can never get to him to hurt him.
Yeah. So like, her like idea of hiding him was knocking him out and going back out onto the water.
Yes. She hog ties him. His arms are tied. His legs are tied. And he is pleading. He is begging. He's like, don't do this.
This is a mob hit.
Yeah, literally, this is the Italian aliens.
Yeah, they had Italian food on their wedding, of course, and now he's gonna get killed the Italian way.
Yes. They've put the cement in his shoes, and they are throwing him into the lake. So she just kicks over the anchor. He's obviously tied to the anchor. He's going to get pulled into the water. And to be fair, is hidden.
Well, she hit him, and apparently this death was a lot better than the death that fate he would have received with the aliens.
I mean, if there's anything I know about these aliens, it's they put things in your orifices, and there's a lot of goo. I think this might be the better way to go out. Then again, drowning sucks. So
it's interesting that the other couple was doing probably the same
thing.
So Annie definitely knocked out Will from the blood in the hat.
Yep.
And had to hide him somewhere so the aliens wouldn't get him. So it's probably something similar. Because the time is nigh. She even said it. It's time's over. They're gonna get called by the aliens.
yeah, this is what a bad way to go. Just being tied up and thrown into a lake. She then gets back to the cabin, and she's just watching their wedding video.
Yep. Yeah, she's like basically gone.
Yeah, because she's also, her face is turning into the webbing, right?
Yep.
Like she's all corroding and stuff.
Yeah, she's a web person.
Are they spider aliens?
Maybe they might. They're some kind of spider alien.
They're the
for sure.
arachnids.
Yep, because then they're gonna get called again by the light, and I think her and
Annie meet up.
and you just see like the dark figure,
Which is
shaking.
the alien.
Yep.
And that is Honeymoon, a very underrated and I feel not well known horror movie that takes place in a cabin, but I would say you should go out and watch it. I think it's a very well done movie. I think if you like horror, romance, thriller, sci-fi, it's got a little bit of all those different aspects to it. I think for only having 4 characters is very well acted by all 4 people in the movie. I think everyone does a very good job. I think that I just like a good movie that keeps you guessing, but you also don't know everything, but you know just enough to enjoy what you saw.
Exactly. Like, and you know, like we always say, like less is more. This movie doesn't give you a lot, but it kind of gives you like these little pieces in the beginning that kind of come back with the elements of them hiding the keys and the docks. And all of these attributes about their relationship that kind of come circling back, and that's how he's able to tell, like, you're not the same person I remember you to be.
And also, like, it does leave you that, like, yeah, it's aliens, but it doesn't delve into why they're doing it, and you don't need that.
No.
You just need to know, okay, yeah, it was aliens, but, like, that's all I need to know. And it's just well done. I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10.
Fair.
What about you? Yeah.
Yeah, I also have it a 7 to 10. I really like this movie a lot. As you said, like it's not one of the more popular movies, but it's a movie you could definitely watch on several streaming platforms. And it's definitely recommended that, you give it a shot. I will be honest, it's a little sappy. It's a little bit of a romance horror for a while, but it does build the story that way. And it's not like unnecessary. Like it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I mean, like it's really a good mystery and thriller. Like there's elements of sci-fi, like I said. It's just generally like you are given not the most information, but you do see the lights sporadically throughout the middle of the night. You see her walk naked, and you're just, what the fuck is going on? What's with the forest goo? Is it sap? Is it worse?
What is it?
Is
it's
it an
webbing.
Evil nightgown? But no, it's a fun movie. It's a good watch. 7 for me on Honeymoon. Ygritte.
Okay, we are even. Necronomicon talk, of course, our favorite segment. I'm going to say Paul because he's the only on-screen death.
Really, you don't have much of a choice.
Yep. So, Paulie boy, you were a good husband. You were only a husband for about 4 days, but you were a good husband. You knew all the small details that women want you to know. You just wanted to be there for your wife. Even when she was turning into an evil alien, you never ran from her. You always were there to help her. You even wanted to get the car keys to bring her for help. The issue is, you can't beat aliens.
Some would say his hands were really going for him. He had strong hands.
Some would say he was the original probe.
Yeah, some say that. Sometimes the aliens targeted his relationship because they didn't like his hands.
It's possible. They figured he was in there so much, there was so much room to maneuver themselves.
Yes, in fact. He paved the way.
He paved the way. And for that, we're honoring you in our Necronomicon, Paul.
The 1-2 blast on this guy.
This guy, he slips his tongue in, slips his finger in.
Yeah, it's his move. It's the 1-2.
The 1-2, the old 1-2. All right, Brad. We have done Cabin in the Woods. We've done Cabin Next to a Lake. How about a snow cabin? A snow cottage, as some would call it.
I'm ready for it. Like we said, we're doing a couple of different cabin type atmospheres, a couple of different environments. Let's get frigid, dude.
Let's do it. Let's talk Nazi zombies, and I'm not talking Call of Duty. I'm talking dead snow.
That's right. Let's get to the mountains. Does this take place in Germany or Russia?
I thought either Germany or Sweden.
Oh, because they mentioned that there's like the Germans go over to the Russian, they're in the Russian area, and then the Russian villagers like leave.
It's possible. So I'm going to look it up before next week.
Yeah, I don't know where it takes place, but in any case, it's pretty sick.
We're going to find out next week. So with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week where we bring out our famous brats and a little bit of German beer.
I'm super pumped.
Me too. I hope you like Blumpkins.
Oh, is that what that is? Was that a Blumpkin?
No, it was more just sex on a porta potty.
Yeah,
but
kind of hoping for a Blumpkin.
Yeah, we need a good Blumpkin in this.
www.thefinalpodcast.com for all the content. We'll be there every Monday. Don't you worry. 6 a.m. We're going to be finishing up. Sad to say, we'll be finishing up in 2 weeks, Cabin Month, but we're halfway done. It's been super fun. So really,
great time.
Super excited for Dead Snow. Probably overdue, but we haven't done a ton of zombie movies. We love this movie, and we're happy to review it. Tune in next week, and bring your bratwurst.
Bring it.
Oktoberfest, Shane.
Can't wait.